some of you really need to do super well, and I think you can on this one, for sure. All right, so we are on the last page of practice test 1. So the little word problem section, there's 4 of them. And it says draw a picture, write an equation, and solve. So you need to do all those pieces. We need to draw a picture. A regular octagon inscribed in a circle. So I'll draw my circle and an octagon. 8. So I'm going to make 8 as evenly spaced as I can. It's not going to be perfect and no one cares. But here's your octagon. Okay, and the radius of the circle is 12. Now we've only done a couple of these, but you probably remember our general strategy. What do I do now? So I fill in the rest of the spokes, all the radii, and you don't absolutely have to do that. But it certainly reminds you of what? Here at the center here. They're all 360 and there's 8 of them. So this little angle right here is 45. And of course that's 12, right? All those things I drew out are 12. Now, I want the area, right? Don't I want the area? So if I look at this triangle right here, and think about my area formulas. What is the appropriate area formula for this given situation? 1/2 times 12 times 12 times sine 45. Remember your formula, 1/2 side, side, sine? And you got the perfect setup there, right? Perfect. So that is going to be the area of the triangle. Is that what you're going to put in the answer blank?
No.
Oh no. What do we have to do to get the answer in the answer blank? We need to times that by 8. And we're not going to round off. We're just going to take the answer that we just got and hit times 8. So we get 407.29. And these are word problems. We're going to make sure we put units on it. Inches squared. What do you think? Are you okay with that? Bo, you okay with that? Okay, what part are you not okay with? This right here. How do you put 1 divided by 2? Or you can use 0.5. You don't need any parentheses in there if you don't want.
50.9.
And then times 8, yep. All right, number 2. Find the length of the shorter diagonal of a rhombus. What's a rhombus?
All sides are equal.
All sides are equal. So it's kind of like a slanted square, like that. And all the sides are 16. Because as Audie said, that's what a rhombus is. And we want the length of the shorter diagonal and the smaller angle. Okay, so I'm going to fill in the smaller angle. Would you agree that that's the smaller angle right there? These are your choices. That one's smaller. And then I want the shorter diagonal. So if you just look at that, you ought to be able to see that there's 2 diagonals, and this one is going to be shorter than the other one. And we want to know the length of that diagonal. I'm going to take this part of the picture out because I don't want that to confuse you. You have a triangle here, and your job is to find that side. Exactly. You're going to use the law of sines or the law of cosines, one or the other, whichever one's appropriate. And when you look at this given, I don't think we have a set, do we? So we'll use the law of cosines. And the angle we have is 34, so we'll put that out there, which means what's going to be over here? X squared. 16 squared plus 16 squared minus 2, 16, 16, cosine 34. So we'll type that in. This is, by the way, is hopefully exactly what you did on your quiz that you just took. Now, did you get 87? Okay, that's not the answer though. Please don't write 87 down. What do you have to do to that?
Square root.
Square root it. That's x squared. So about 9.36. And units are centimeters. So that diagonal is 9.36 centimeters. Would you agree?
But you got 9.36, I got 9.32.
Okay. When you type this in, I don't want you rounding it off.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you rounded that off. So just take that number and either square root second answer or just raise this to the 1/2 power.
Okay.
Or retype in the whole number, not just part of it. Okay? Now, the next question says, take your rhombus, which was 16, 16, 16, 16, and 34, and find the area of the rhombus. So here says do the same thing, cut it in half. Can we find the area of this triangle right here? What formula would we use to find the area of that triangle? 1/2 side, side, sine. Right? 1/2 side, side, sine. SSS, side, side, sine. We can do that. So 1/2 times 16 times 16 times sine 34. I got 71. Multiply it by 2. Everybody understand why we have to multiply it by 2? So we just hit times 2. And the area is 143.15. What did I say it was? Square centimeters? Everybody keeping up okay? And then the last one, now we got a regular hexagon, all right? So there's my circle. What does hexagon mean? 6. So I'm going to make my 6 hash marks. Connect the dots. Nobody's grading your picture. You have to draw one. It's part of the directions. We got to draw a picture, but nobody's grading it for, I'm not measuring anything to make sure it's exactly right. We got a hexagon drawn. And the radius is 14. Everybody okay with that picture? And I want to know its area. So I've kind of already got it split up into the triangles, right? So we're going to find the area of one of the triangles. I'm missing something. What am I missing? My angle. But that's so easy to find, right? 360 divided by 6. Those central angles are always going to add up to 360, right? A whole revolution. So just divide it by however many you have. So now, can I find the area of the triangle? What's the formula I'm going to use? 1/2 side, side, sine. I'm gonna type that in on my calculator.
Oh.
You got it? Type in. And then, I'm not writing it down and rounding it off, I'm just gonna hit times 6. 509.22. So the hexagon is 509.22.
Inches.
Was it centimeters? Inches. Square inches. Everybody feel okay about that? Yeah, I think we got that. All right, so let's try practice test 2 now. Back to the hard stuff. We got to get through these 2 hard problems, and then we're kind of home free. All right, so cosecant divided by secant. Do you have an idea? What is your thought?
1 over sine.
So 1 over sine divided by
Cosine.
1 over cosine. So cosecant is 1 over sine, and that is being divided by 1 over cosine. So we turn the second one over, right? Turn the second one over. Now nothing cancels, so straight across would give me cosine over sine, which is what? Cotangent, yep, cotangent. So that simplifies to cotangent. Now remember, you got a whole weekend ahead of you. You can redo these problems over the weekend. Take out a piece of paper and redo them so you get a little bit more comfortable with them. Right? What else do you do on a Saturday night? Right? All right, B. What about B?
1 minus sine x squared.
So,
Just get the cosine squared.
Minus sine.
Schlebecker has said that numerator up there is a squared function. And I have a list of identities where all functions are squared. I have a squared function in all of them. So the one that's appropriate to this one is sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. Now, if sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, what does this equal all by itself? So move this over. What does cosine squared equal?
1 minus sine.
1 minus sine squared. So cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared. So Thomas says, put that in right here. So we have 1 minus sine squared over 1 minus sine. Don't cancel at this point. Whenever you have adds or subtracts in your problem, you cannot cancel unless you factor first. I can't cancel unless I factor. So is there any way to factor that numerator?
Take 1 minus sine.
It's the difference of squares. So how will that factor? 1 minus sine,
1 plus sine.
1 plus sine. Now that I have factored, now I can cancel. So what is our final answer for that one? 1 plus sine. Kids, I know this is hard. I can't help it. We got to do it. So luckily for you, there's only 2 problems on the whole test like this. Everything else, you ought to be able to boom, boom, boom.
I made the bottom cosine.
You can't.
Is it because it's not squared?
Exactly. Remember, all your substitutions that we use, your Pythagorean identities, everything's squared. 1 plus tangent squared is secant squared and so on. Yeah.
I know that.
You have nothing to do except deal with the squared. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, nope.
Okay. Now we're gonna solve the following. So you're gonna have to do 2 solved problems on your test. One of them's on the front side here, and then there's one on the back, where you're solving the triangle. Now, this is not area. You are not doing 1/2 side sine and all that. If you are solving a triangle, you must use the law of sines or the law of cosines. Okay? Law of sines or cosines. Always to solve a triangle. So, Mr. Kaufman, you're typing away already. What are you doing?
Well, we got 49 degrees to the.
Oh, what a great way to start, right? Right there's gimme points. The angles of a triangle add up to 180. So anytime you have 2 of them, just subtract to get the third one. Perfect. Okay, Blake, then what did you do?
The law of sines.
Law of sines. Does everybody understand why he's using the law of sines? He has a pair. So he's going to say what, Blake? What was your setup?
I did sine 49 over 10 equals sine 58 over a.
Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely wonderful. So then he cross multiplied, I presume.
Yep.
And some of us are still having trouble with this. You're solving for A. So you're going to divide both sides by sine 49. Not by 49, not by sine 49. That's a whole thing. It all goes over there. So A is going to equal 10 sine 58 over sine 49. Is that right? Let's type it in, see what we come up with. 10 sine 58 divided by sine 49. I got 11.24. You match that? All right, now what? Who knows?
Sine 49 over 10 minus sine 73 over b.
Yeah, not minus equals, yeah. Yeah, we do exactly the same thing, right? Marita, what are you doing back there?
This chair like hit back and it scared me.
So sine 49 over 10 equals sine 73 over b. Everybody okay with that? That was Max's suggestion. So b sine 49, 10 sine 73, divided by sine 49 again. And we end up with 10 sine 73 over sine 49. I got 12.67. Any question about that problem? Everybody understands when the directions say solve the triangle, you are going to use law of sines and cosines. What do we use 1/2 side sine for? Area. Area, very good. 1/2 side sine is an area formula. Okay, so B, problem B. We have another triangle that we are solving. All right, here we go. What's your thought on that? Law of cosines. Audie, you understand why it's a law of cosines problem?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's not another angle.
Well, there wouldn't have to be another angle. There has to be a pair. There has to be a pair of information. So, like, you have to have this angle on this side.
Yeah,
I don't.
that's what I'm doing.
And I don't have that. And I don't have that. So I can't use the law of sine. See this, look at this one over here, Audie. I had this. When I have a pair like that, angle and side, then I know it's a law of sines problem. If I don't have that, it's gonna have to be a cosine problem. And my angle's 53, so out here to the side is cosine 53, right? Jordan, what's over here? If that's cosine 53, what's over here?
No.
Yes,
Yeah, it's right there.
e squared. What's in the middle? James Wayne, what's all this stuff in the middle gonna be here?
Side squared,
So 16 squared
10 squared.
plus 10 squared, don't get plus, plus 10 squared
Minus 2.
times 16 times 10, perfect. So 16 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 16 times 10 times the cosine of 53. All right, let's go. Quit acting bored, Max. This is the most fun you're gonna have all day.
I mean, I already solved it.
Oh, you're already done?
Yeah.
Wow. I got 163, but I have to remember to square root it. So 12.78. When I square root it, remember you're gonna you're gonna square root second answer, or you're gonna raise to the 1/2 power, raise to the 0.5 power. And you better get 12.78. There's no reason to get anything different, because we're all typing in exactly the same thing. So you need to get 12.78. Now, are we done? No. There's 3 answer blanks there, and you have just filled in the bottom one. You found side E. So where do we go from here? Christina?
Use the law of sine.
Now we can use the law of sines. Look, Audie, see this right here?
Yeah.
That's my pair. So sine 53 over 12.78 is going to equal sine D over 10, for example. I'm running out of room here, so you're going to cross multiply and divide, and you should end up with this. See if this is what you come up with. 10 sine 53 over 12.78. Can't be any different. Hmm? What do you mean my sign's in the wrong place? Oh, yeah, yeah. This, I'm not ready yet to type this in on my calculator, because if I type this in, I'm just gonna get a decimal like 0.6 or something. That's not right. To find an angle, I have to second sign. So I'm gonna type in second sign, just like Ian was saying, I gotta move the sign over. Well, that means second sign, 10 sine 58, or 53, over 12.78. So second sine, 10 sine 53, divided by 12.78. Did you get 38.68?
Get her on.
38.68 degrees?
Oh, what did I do? No.
Now, how do I find the last angle? Add them up and subtract. So add them up and subtract.
Oh.
88.32.
What did you get?
Okay,
He subtracted off.
All right. So that takes care of the solve the triangle problems. One that's a law of sines, one that's a law of cosines. Okay, what's next? How many triangles are possible? So let me draw the first one, and then does anybody remember what we're supposed to do to find how many triangles are possible? Yeah, you see this pair right here? So let's jump in with the law of sines. Sine 73 over 6 equals sine S over 9. I'm going to have to second sign this time, aren't I? So I'm going to second sign that fraction. All right, what happened? What? What does that mean if I get an error?
Zero.
It's not possible.
Means no triangles possible. So there are no triangles possible. Remember this question is, how many triangles are possible? So this time there aren't any. That situation couldn't be. You couldn't make that triangle. All right, what about the next one? Are we going to do exactly the same thing?
Yes.
Yes, we are. We are. So sine 52 over 16 equals sine S over 18. So we are doing exactly the same thing that we just did. So we're going to second sign again. So tell me what happens this time when you get to it. Don't rush. When you get to it, type it in. Tell me what happens. Did we get another error or did we get an answer?
Got an answer.
I didn't get an error.
Oh, so you're saying that, Ooh.
Okay, you typed this in. I got 62.44. Anybody else get 62.44? Now, does anyone remember? You aren't done. Don't stop. What do we have to do now, Miss Piper?
180 minus 56.
Now we have to say to ourselves, is there a second triangle? If there is a second triangle, this angle right here will be 180 minus the first one you got. So that'd be 117.56.
Yes, you can have two.
Yeah, that works.
Is it possible to have a 52 and a 117? Yes. What is the only way it wouldn't be possible? If these two were more than 180, right? But they're not. So therefore, how many triangles are possible? Two. So this one, the answer is 2. Over there in the answer blank, you're just going to write 2. But note the directions say show work. So if I don't see something like this, I'm not giving you credit for a guess.
Wait a minute, so I went ahead and solved for the whole triangle, so why did we get 117 and 56 when I got 62.44 and then 65.36?
Okay, we don't care about this angle, we're not solving this triangle.
Okay.
We are simply checking to see if that information could be drawn two different ways. And the answer is yes, it can be. It can be drawn with a 62 here or with a 117 here. So in other words, this triangle could be drawn like this.
Okay.
All right, one more. Are we gonna do it the same way? Yes, kids. These three problems, you're basically doing the same thing over and over and over, right? And my guess is, if that one had no solutions and that one had two, this one might have one. But we don't know that for a fact, so let's try it and see. Sine 75 over 10 equals sine S over 8. Is that okay with everybody? You guys are already got it done. I got an answer. I got 50.60.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you remember what to do next? You have to check to see if there's another possibility. And if there is another possibility, it'll be 180 minus, so 129.40. Now, can you have 129 and a 75 in the same triangle? No. So that one didn't check out. So this problem has one triangle possible.
Miss Ford, when is our test?
I think it's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Check the date in Power School, but I'm thinking it's Wednesday. I think it's the 20th.
Yeah, you're right.
I just get out my plan book and count class periods and wherever it lands, and I think it was Wednesday. Okay. All right, so everybody okay with that? Three problems done exactly the same way. Okay, now we're area. Now we got a page of area problems. On the test, it's going to be just like this. There are going to be two problems in the area section which are super snappy. And then there's going to be one that's a little bit harder. So look at A, B, and C. Which ones do you think are the super snappy problems? A, because A, we have all three sides. And when we have all three sides, how do we find the area? Hero's formula. Hero's formula is the big radical that's got four numbers underneath it. Anybody remember how to get the four numbers? This is problem A. So I add up all the sides. We call it the perimeter. So the perimeter would be what? 18? 18? Now, 18 does not go into this equation. Do you hear me? No 18s. What goes in here instead? 9, half of 18. And then 9 minus 7, 9 minus 5, 9 minus 6. Notice, there's no 18, and there's no 5, 7, and 6. These numbers are the semi-perimeter, and then the semi-perimeter minus each side. Then you just type it in.
14.69.
I got 14.70. that all right with everybody?
Yep.
That would be the radical, that would be the exact form, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, which other one is super snappy? C. C is the easiest problem on the whole test. What strategy are we going to use to find the area of triangle C? We're going to say 1/2 side, sine. So 1/2 11 times 10 times sine 53. This is problem C. Takes us longer to write it down than to do the problem. 0.5 times 11 times 10 times sine 53. I got 43.92. So everybody good with A and C. Those are the basics. Now, what makes B a little bit more complicated? We're still doing area. What?
Cosine.
I have to find another side, right? Now, Max, I want you to think about what you just said for a second. Let's look at this triangle.
Yeah, I need to slow down.
You need to slow down. I know two of the angles, so I immediately know the third one, right? And as soon as I get that third angle, which is 45, now what do I have here? The law of sines. So sine 45 over 15 equals sine 63 label over C. So here we go. Now, I remember sometimes grading papers and having kids do all this just beautifully, getting 18.90 and putting that number in the answer blank. Yeah.
18.
What is the 18.90? That's the side of the triangle. And we need that side because in order to find area, you need two sides and the angle between them. So I'm going to get the actual answer by doing 1/2, 15, 18.90 sine 72. I chose, when I did my law sines, I chose to find side C.
34.
Could I have found side S? Sure. But I found side C. So now I've got these two sides, and there's the angle between them. So it's 1/2, 15 times 18 times sine 72. So my answer is 134.81. Yep, that's right. What do you think? Are you okay with that? So when we take our test, please zero in on the two easy problems and then know that one of them you're going to have to do a little extra work on, okay, to find the missing side. Oh, here we are again. What's left? Our handy-dandy word problems. Some of these look familiar. Here we go. We better get these right. We got a regular pentagon inscribed in a circle. with a radius of 10 feet. And we're going to find the area. Now, I'm just going to shut up for a minute. You're like, oh, thank God. And you guys see how far you can get with this problem.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Is that a hiccup?
That was a hiccup.
Yeah, that was a hiccup.
Well, bless you anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you hiccup.
So, you guys, Ferris, Audie, you guys doing this or what?
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
We're grinding.
good. After all, we're paying 16 grand. We want to get our money's worth, right, Piper?
Yeah.
I got it.
I got it.
Well, I hope so. Let's see if I got what you got. What'd you get, Ferris?
I got 237.76
Feet squared.
feet squared.
That's it.
Oh,
There you go.
That's it.
okay.
What'd you forget, Caitlin?
To multiply
By 5? Yeah. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. The first step on these guys is to find the triangle, and then you have to multiply by whatever you have to multiply by to get the whole figure. Anybody have a question about that? Were you able to do that? Jordan?
Yep.
Jordan?
Yes.
Okay. All right, number 2. Last one, we'll get this one done. Number 2, we're going to find the area of a parallelogram. So here's a parallelogram. The sides are 10 and 16, and the larger angle is 104. So that would be right here, right?
Cut it long ways and put it in.
Everybody good with the picture?
Yeah.
Now, I'm finding area. So would it help me to split it into 2?
Yeah.
Because then I got a triangle. And how can I find the area of that triangle? 1/2. 10 times 16 times sine 104.
Yep. Multiply by 2 after you get
And after we get it, we'll have to multiply it by 2.
it. 55.
Did you get 155.25
meters squared.
No.
centimeters squared?
Yes.
I got
I got 28.
Well, you must have rounded something off. Make sure you don't, just take the answer to your triangle, Ferris, and times it by 2.